Welcome to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your wonderful host, the coach, and with me is the wonderful co-host, Lady G. How are you doing today?
Hey, Coach, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great for Tuesday, and we are recording here the 1st of July. So the weather, hey, gotta kind of say we kind of getting a break here so far.
I know. Unexpected rain, but I'm thankful for it. I can't complain.
Right, because the temperatures, because normally, hell, we in purgatory by now, Shit, it's so damn hot outside, we just burn up.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Well, so today's topic, we're going to jump into that. What was that thing that made you say, hey, I had enough? Either you were seeking financial freedom and wasn't looking forward to working another job, or the current job that you was at, you finally found maybe that dream job, or you decided to go and search for that dream job. You say, hey, I'm going to go take a few months off and then I'm going to go work that dream job. So Lady G, kind of give me what path did you take and when did you decide that it was time to move on, maybe at a current employer to another employer, or move on to seek financial freedom? Go ahead.
So it was probably a little after the military. I had one job. It was my first government job I had, and it was cool. I mean, it's the first job, so you kind of not taking whatever, but hey, you just get it in the groove of things. So I took that job. I mean, it was okay for the most part, money wise. It's just when the environment, the work environment, the work culture starts to change, people start to be petty, and there's
Right.
favoritism. And you're like, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for. The drama. I came to work, get paid, do my job and go home. So when I saw the work culture shifting and things like not being so positive and drama and favoritism occurring, it was like, okay, let me look for something else. And that's when I looked for something else. But the funny thing, I did go back to that original job, but on a part-time basis. And that was before I got laid off. But it was mainly because of the work environment, which just wasn't inviting. They were just taking anybody, basically. So, they didn't care if you were skilled or if you did have the certifications. It was kind of like, okay, hey, we need a body, so we're gonna take John, make John fit into this space. So it was kind of like it just wasn't for me anymore. And I'm all about now like peace. I hate stressful jobs and draining. The environment, people is not right for me. I don't care if I'm making 100K. It's not what it is. I gotta go. I got to throw it the peace sign and be like, hey, I gotta move on to the next. So that's what it did for me. So
Yeah. For me, I would say being marginalized on the job, underappreciated, and just always having to deal with those microaggressions, I would say. And that comes in forms of not being promoted, especially when you're working twice as hard as the next employee, as John or Susie or whoever that you're working with. And then on the flip side of that coin, always being expected to do more. So the supervisor automatically is like telling you that, oh no, I can't give you a promotion or a raise, but at the same time, he or she wants you to work just as hard and keeping your standard up here while everybody else's standard is down here. You know what I'm saying? And highlighting, it's a thing like in sports, that we teach when you're coaching like youth kids under 15 years old. And one of the trainings and what we say is that you can give criticism to a kid, tell them that they're doing a drill or they're doing something wrong on the court or the football field. But at the same time, when they do something right, they do make a good play, you need to praise them even louder or even harder than how you gave them that criticism. You understand? And it just wasn't that reciprocating effect. And I know you probably had those times where you're going in you're about to have your appraisal and everything. And, you thinking, oh yeah, I'm the bomb. I did this. You done wrote down all the jobs and the accomplishments you did. And then you get in there and your boss, whoever it is kind of like, well, I need you to work on this a little more. I need you to work on that. And then you're kind of like, well, if I was slacking in this area, where the hell was you throughout this whole 12-month process? To not come and say, hey, I'm not seeing you do this, or hey, you need to pick it up over here on this little thing or skill or task. You're shining over here. You're just a little low. You need to pick this up a little bit. That was always my thing. And it was always an excuse, of course, in the previous podcast when we talked, when I was being hired by the Army Corps of Engineers. I told you the story of how supervisor like, hey, I start the people out at this much pay. But then when I got ready to get the job, they were like, oh, yeah, well, it's got to go through a presidential approval. It's got to do this, when I asked for the certain amount of money. So I just got fed up with all that stuff. I tried multiple times. It wasn't a one-time hit it and quit it. I tried to stay in love. I tried to jump into the relationship. I put both feet in it. I put my hands in it. I put my heart. And then I came out like Jeffrey Osborne or something. I had to come out and start thinking. I was like, shoot, dude. No, just go ahead.
Good. And I think some bosses feel like their way of showing their appreciation is through a paycheck, which, hey, that's fine, but that ain't just the baseline. It's just the baseline. But again, it's like when you go to a company, and it's like they should put their best foot forward,
Yeah.
Because again, like, I know the job market is kind of like flip-floppy sometimes right now, especially. But if you're a person is skilled and a bomb worker, then they can go somewhere else, especially if like somebody else is dangling, hey, I'll pay you this more, I give you this, that, benefits wise, and you're going to be a lot happier. Then you would think they would treat them better or do something to make the situation better versus saying, okay, well, you know what, if John want to leave, okay, John can leave now. We're going to find somebody to replace him. And sometimes it'd be like that where they're going to find somebody to replace you. But, they're thinking like, okay, well, all we got to do is train him up on this, boom, 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 and boom, he's good to go. Unfortunately, that's the case. But some companies don't always care. Like I say, a lot of companies are not loyal. It's unfortunate. But for me in the past, it's simply been the work environment. It's been how, the environment just was draining. It's toxic. And that ain't, there's like a toxic relationship. Look, I gotta go. It ain't working out. I try to stay as long as I can. I try to work it out, try to fix it. And it's not for me. So I might have to exit this relationship and be like, it's on to the next. So
exactly. And as you're saying, you're totally right. I mean, you have to be like God. The old group God back in the 80s. You have to say bye bye. I'm saying bye bye. You have to go out the door. Because as you go ahead.
It's funny you were singing that because I've seen a video go viral on social media with the guy. I think he was working at Popeyes or somewhere, but he sung a song. He went in there. He had to create a whole song about him quitting the job. Just sung it to his boss. And it went viral. I was like, he put some thought into that. He was like, I'm leaving. It's a whole song. I have to send that to you. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I gotta laugh because I want to, and it's funny because I wanted to make something like that. It's still in the works, but I wanted to do something. But I'll let you know later. Sorry, but anyway, yeah, that's, as you said, those things can be draining. Especially when you put in time, effort, and things like this. And, you look around and when you see your coworkers are not putting in that time and effort and, they walking around like George Jefferson, like, yeah, man, I got hooked up shoes. I got that promotion. And if you're cool with them, you kind of happy for them. But at the same time, you like, what in the hell? How in the hell did this person get promoted? Because I know damn well let's match up our work together. Let's start at 7 o'clock, and then by 3 o'clock, look at my work, look at this person's work. And I know damn well there's no comparison. I'm like a pro, they're like a high school, a senior in high school.
It's the same. Well, not all companies do this, but how I was in the military. I know from the Air Force, you get a whole rating and evaluated, and you got this whole number scale where they're basing, okay, like we're gonna give you a 4 right here, 5. You try to get 5 4s. If you get a 3 or lower, you kind of like, you probably ain't getting promoted. You probably ain't. Try again. So even that was kind of shaky at times, because if you had a boss who didn't like you, or you felt like they didn't like you, or you just wasn't putting your best foot forward, then they're like, okay, we're gonna give you a 3. You kind of hovering. You need to do something different to amp it up. So
yeah, most definitely. So those are the things, as you said. And then the last thing I just wanted to touch on is just, especially when they try to control you, like if they need you to work, for example, on a Saturday, or need you to stay late, or there's some big project going on, and they want you to lead it up because they know you have the skill. But then this person just told you in the evaluation that, oh, you're lacking right here. But then when a big project, like say like the CEO or a commander, if you're in the military or something is coming, they want you out front. All of a sudden they want to showcase your talent and artwork because they know that you're going to bring the department to life, or that squadron or whatever to, you're going to make it shine. So that was the other thing. It's like, oh, when it come time for me to get money or get the promotion, you're telling me I'm here, but then you turn around when something big is coming up. Oh, you want me front and center. You know what I'm saying? You want me to be seen, but you don't want to pay to go.
That's not right. Yeah. If I'm coming in on the weekend, I expect a little, be compensated now.
Right.
If I am the best, now you're gonna pay what you pay now. So, but some people that will try to take advantage of you. They're like, oh well, Keith is the best at this. Lead this project. We're gonna put him on this, but we're not gonna pay him anything. We're gonna keep his normal paycheck. Maybe give him like a cup or a pen, some that we appreciate him, some bull like that. I don't know, but yeah.
So that's how that worked in that situation. So with that, anything else to share in that?
No, just if you're considering leaving your current job, just look at all aspects. Have a plan B. Don't just jump and not have a plan, but make sure you have a plan B, C, and D in effect. So, and make sure you read your contract. Make sure you're not breaking no rules and everything like that. So
yeah, and the last thing to add to that last part is just make sure you have to trust your gut feeling. Trust yourself that, hey, it's time to go. If you're not feeling it, you waking up and you dreading going to this job, get the hell out of there. Because all you're doing is just hurting yourself in the end. All right. So with that, we will see y'all on part 2 of this episode. Y'all take care. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And of course, drop those comments about how do you feel if you need to leave a job. So with that being said, see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching. And also, if you are having trouble or currently working in a toxic workplace, then look no further than my book. It's available on Amazon, called Shut Up and Work, Surviving Then Escaping the Workplace. Other than that, have a great day. Take care. Peace.